And a very good morning to you. Just coming up to, well, nearly 1 minute past 8. So thank you very much to the Reverend Canon John Caldwell, who's headed off. And he's just sent us the Dark Side sticker from his scooter
sent it
thing
to Alex.
He's got.
We'll
get it on the Manx Radio TT Facebook page. It's quite daft, really, to be honest, isn't it, when you think about it?
Love it.
Good stuff. So, and also thanks to Andy from the Alman Police Force for coming in, Sergeant Andy Baylor, for coming in to have a little bit of a chat with us this morning. Yes?
Sergeant Andy Reid.
Did I say Paylor?
It's okay. Yeah, it's all right.
Did I really?
Okay. Yeah, you did. It's okay. It's early.
Yeah, I know. I haven't had tea, you see, because
I
they're not
know.
open. I'm going to have words. We're going to have big words, actually.
There's no caffeine here.
There isn't. We'll live like that. Speaking of people who don't need caffeine in their life, after yesterday, is Darryl Tweed. Good morning, young Darryl.
Morning.
How are you?
Not too bad. A wee bit tender.
Well, you were out celebrating last night with the half a log of shandy with a touch of lime, weren't you? So yeah.
Yeah, wee baby sham.
Baby sham. Now you are
with a
talking.
cherry.
We're talking. And a man who was busting some serious moves on the dance floor at the trackside last night. The lightweight Manx Grand Prix winner, we got Andy Farrell. Morning, Andrew.
Good morning.
Are you with us?
Rough, yeah. Fairly rough I am, yeah.
You boys know how to party. You know, boys. You boys know how to have a good time, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. The boys deserve it, you know. I haven't been drinking in months, and I can tell you, I don't miss it.
Oh.
I'm in bits.
Stephen also joined us. Steve Parsons, come and have a seat wherever you want. Sit next to Andy. You can cuddle him a bit because he looks like he needs a bit of cuddle this morning, the poor lad. So obviously last night, time for celebration because. The newcomers last night, you've all been newcomers here. You know, when they all came for their trophies last night, which is very, very important. They all got a great ovation. And the guys who were carried in on the chair, Tommy Maxwell and, of course, Michael Rees, carried in on that chair. The look of fear in their face when they're carried in on that chair is something to behold. And you've got to experience that, aren't you, Andrew?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
How many times have you sat there when you've been second, you've been third and gone... Oh, I want to be thrown around recklessly in a wooden chair, carried with 6 of my mates who probably had a few beers. This could all end in tears. How many times have you sat there? Quite a few.
Quite a few, yeah. I think I have to wear my helmet in this one. I think the boys have gone mad at me. Yeah, looking forward to it. It's been a long time coming. So a lot of hard work with the boys and the team and that. Chuffed, man. I'm just delighted.
It's a way to celebrate 10 years, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, it's. As I say, I've had 4 podiums here before this, 2 trips in a helicopter, so, I know what goes into it. I know how hard it is, how much it can bite you as well, so a lot of work has paid off, just sinking in. It hasn't sank in yet, really,
I don't want to cast aspersions, though. People are watching us on Facebook Live this morning, and John Duggan says, months my backside, not drinking. But I'm just saying
that's GD. Okay, yeah. Morning, John Duggan. Morning, everybody.
Yeah. Well, I've had 1 or 2, but not like him anyway.
No. We don't condone drinking here on Manx Radio TT. We're just going to get them there. But they were allowed to have a bit of a baby sham to celebrate last night. Stevie Parsons joining as well. Good morning, young man.
Good morning.
You all right?
All right. I felt better, but yeah.
You weren't out as well last night, were you?
Well, it's his fault.
Is it Darryl Tweed's fault?
It's Darryl's fault.
Go on, tell us the story. And remember, we are live on radio and we are live on Facebook Live. So.
Well, I met him in, I think it was Jack's, wasn't it? Was it Jack's? Yeah. Just met him in Jack's and started talking and having a laugh.
But great crack, isn't it, that you could all do that, that you're racing in different classes and stuff, and you're all based in different areas around the paddock, and yet you can still get together down to, how you doing, all right? And you just talk absolute rubbish for hours. Do you remember any of the conversations?
Oh, aye.
Oh, yeah, right. Come on.
I don't remember much.
To see that gudgeon pin over there, you don't talk about that sort of thing. You just talk about general life things, don't you, when you're having a bit of crack?
You try to, anyway, just to get a bit of normality back into your life.
Nice to get away from here for a bit as well, I suppose, too, just to get out, just let your hair down, Andy.
Yeah, well, I actually have a stay in a house up in Onken there, so I don't really spend much time in the paddock at all.
Factory,
yeah.
Full factory.
Yeah. With the weather the way it is last week and that, you couldn't be. It took your head in. You get cabin fever down here. I don't know how the guys do it. I've seen it hit. The first year I was here was 2009 and it was wet, and we had a house back then as well, from the beginning. And I remember walking through the paddock and I could see lads drinking little trenches around their tents. I go, no way, I couldn't be at that.
Couldn't do that. I mean, it's bad enough at National when it rains a little bit, but when you're here, stuck here for the best part of 2.5 weeks, it can be a bit of a thing. Let's look back to the race then, Darryl. the 400 race. I think it's safe to say you kind of had it in the bag from the word go. You were just, because we know how good you are on that 400, and that's not picking you up. You know how good that bike is as well.
Yeah,
it's one of the best 400s around.
It is.
I mean, cracking bit of kit, but you still had to ride the thing and get it home, because this place, like Andy said, gives it you, but then takes it away.
Yes.
Tantamount, doesn't it?
I was talking to her the whole way over the mountain, so I was
Do you have a
caressing
name for her, by the way? Is it Clean?
her.
Okay, clean it up. Clean it up a little bit then.
We could call her something.
I don't know.
Dixie. We'll name her after Forrest Dunn's dog, Dixie.
Dixie.
She likes the Dixie.
Right, okay. Does the dog does it still barking a lot, that dog?
Oh, yep. Barking away. So's the 400. Barking away.
Barking it down. Dixie, there you go. So your 400 is now named Dixie. That'll do for me. So what about the rest of the race? I mean, you set off, and then you obviously you get boards around the circuit telling you where and when you were.
Yep.
But then when you first board, I think you were about 6 or 7 seconds up on your first board, something
Yep,
like that?
just after Black Bridge there. I think they gave me 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
And I was just like, yeah, this is a good start. We have pit stop and all to go, and we're still a pretty green team to all of us as well, so we are. So I just wanted to make sure I had plenty of lead coming into the pit stop, not allowed for any mistakes.
Talking of the pit stops, he obviously brought that thing in, Gary did yesterday afternoon, that said that because it was only a 3-lap race, I mean, they're going to do a 4-lap and a 3-lap race, which another time, and then they made it both 3 laps, and he said, look, everybody must come in after lap number 2. Did that play around with a few people's strategies, do you think, especially with the 400s, or maybe in the lightweight race? I'll come to Andy on that in a sec.
No, I hadn't really thought of strategy, to be honest. Just thought we would have to pit in the second lap.
Good job he didn't use the junior race strategy.
No. Well, we did,
You did, yeah.
Splash in the dash.
Oh, dear. You're not going to live that one down,
No,
are you, really?
sure, Andy got shot me riding curbs and all around quarries.
Oh my God! Here I said, "Here's this donkey again." What's he at?
But did you manage to get some petrol from somebody off a bike or something?
No, I just come back to the paddock, took a jerry can and a scooter, myself and Adam, and headed back out, left it her, and rode her back.
Who was driving the scooter?
I read it out.
I'm just going to say, because there's a good story that we had. We had James Cowton on, we had Adam McLean on at TT Week, and they went out doing laps in the scooter, and yeah, I wouldn't anyway. Beth, any messages coming in?
Lots of messages. Just remind
Good.
you, you've had to get in touch with us this morning. You can text 166 177, start your message with TT, email studio@radiott.com, follow us on the Manx Radio TT Facebook and Twitter pages. If you miss any part of the chat show and you want to watch it back, you can do that at manxradio.com and the Manx Radio portal. People listening, as ever, all over the world this morning. Good morning to Tony, listening in New Zealand. Tony Heron, friend of ours.
Oh, Tony, our
Yeah.
engineer, used to be our engineer at the
Yeah.
grandstand before we got Ed.
Before we got Ed. Oh, Ed, you should come and wave at some point. He's not going to, is he? No. Nige wants to know if there's any more racing this week. Is there any more racing this week, Chris?
There is
There
tomorrow.
is.
Do you know, I love that, you see, but he's already on the internet, so why not go and search the rest of the day?
Because we can tell him.
No, but this is what we're talking about with the guys about impatience. People need to know it now. Why don't you just go on the internet and search Manx Grand Prix races schedule? That's simple, isn't it?
But what we can tell you is tomorrow we have the lightweight and ultra lightweight over 4 laps. That is scheduled for 10:15, and then the senior race over 4 laps at 1:15.
I think lightweight's 3 now, isn't it?
Is it 3?
Yeah, I think they're going to run it as 3, same as yesterday.
Right.
I'm pretty sure. That's not confirmed yet, but because the lightweight it says 4, but in the programme it says 4 for the lightweight and 3 for the ultra lightweight.
We'll clarify that.
We will. We're good at that.
Stephen also wants to know, has there ever been an Irish 1, 2, 3, 4 before? Great results.
Ooh. Now there's a great question, isn't it? Yeah, that's a really good. There might have been a Northern Irish possibility of a 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly in the TT, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not sure.
We'll have to look back on that one. But what a day! What a day, Andrew. I mean, last night at the presentation, obviously Tommy Maxwell winning 2. I mean, that's fantastic, isn't it? And the flags are out and everything. And
Yeah, it's great to, I race the guys back home. It's great to see them there beside me. And like Hammers from Skerry's same town. It's not his first time being in the podium either. It's just amazing for Irish racing. With guys back home, a lot of quick guys come out from England here. And they can really hammer on. They carry an awful lot of speed from the circuit racing. But we've done the business. And it's like Chalky's riding on fire as well. We had a great morning too. We'll see what we can do now tomorrow. The pressure's off though. The pressure's off.
because that's the one you wanted because you said that in the junior, because I know you would love a junior Manx Grand Prix or a senior Manx Grand Prix, but you've set your kind of heart, you set your stall out for that Super Twin.
Being realistic, I just haven't been up to pace on the 600, so there's no point in putting putting things up there that I'm not going to reach. So I wanted a top 10. I knew I could do a top 10. I came in 7th. You know, it wasn't hanging my neck out in the junior either. You know, just good steady run. Got to go look at the track, seeing what I was going to do for the Super Twin. I had a few little plans in my head. You know, I thought Victor Lopez would have been up there a bit. You know, a bit more competition from him, but I knew I was stronger than him to Ramsey. So I figured if I could get on his tail going into Ramsey, he was stronger than me going across the mountain. So I said, right, maybe he'll pull me across the mountain then. But then I got by him, you know, and I still got P2 on the pit board, and I thought, right, obviously it's Chalky's on the fire again. So I just pushed across the mountain, and you know, I was getting P1, P2, and I said, this is going down to the wire. You know, we're not going to have a break here. You know, we the boys in the pits done a great job. You know, we timed what it's going to take to give us 10 litres. So I knew I'd have a little bit in the tank, and then 10 litres will get me home. So you know,
how much was left?
We haven't measured it yet. Now, you know, I know my uncle was doing the fuel, and my brother was telling him, that's it, take it out, and he kept it in for another second to be sure, you know. And yeah, once he done that extra second, I said, I'm not gonna lay off. If I have to lay off, I don't have to lay off. I'm gonna give it everything till it stops, you know. But you know, the pit boards after the pits. Let me see, the 13th was my first pit board, and it said P1 plus 23.
You had one at the 13th.
Coming out of the 13th.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just, you know, as you
Okay.
come to the second part of it, you're heading into Kirkmichael.
Into Westwood, yeah.
There's
really?
a little gap in the fence. My other uncle has done it there from day one as well. Just you're straight out into it, straight into your line of vision, so it's a good spot. P23, but he's given me a pit bar before, whereas in third, and he's put P23 in it, and he's not taking down the two or the one or the other. I said, don't be at this crack with me, you know. But you know, the rest of the pit bars then fell into place. You know, and says, okay, just come across the mountain now and don't do anything silly, and don't be listening for noises in the bike that isn't there. You know, you're going, oh, come on. But yeah, when you put Nicoll and Guthrie Road, you know you're going to get across that line. There's no feeling like it.
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, but I think people don't realise, if they haven't ever gone around this course, just how physically demanding it is, Darryl. And that's the thing, you know, over 3 laps, and that sort of mental concentration and the physical strain as well.
It is quite physical, so it is. But it's just one of them things when the adrenaline's down and everything's going on. You always find that wee bit extra to keep going. Especially if you know you have a position to go for, the pain goes out of your arms and out of your legs, and you just batter on.
Imagine riding the superbike round here, boys, 6 laps. Stephen Parsons going, no. Imagine 6 laps on a superbike like pit legs like Jude John does, and Bruce and Hutchie and Michael Dunlop and all that. That's just, it's a different world, isn't it? How did he do it? Steve, could you describe that to us? 4 laps is hard enough, isn't it?
It is not a clue how they do it, honestly, not a clue. It's little 600s, they always get off big backs, don't they? Gone 600s, like, oh, it's nice and easy, this. I'm like, 3rd lap, I was, just my neck. It's
blowing a bit, yeah.
Yeah, my neck, my back, even my wrists and that, like, going down like Sulby. You're just moving your hand, trying to get a bit of feeling into it. It's just, I do not know how they do it with superbikes.
Think back to the day when they did 125s and they did 250s. They might have had a 400, then they've had a 600, and they wouldn't have had no production bikes then. They would have had a super. So like Joey would have had 5 rides on different bikes, jumping off that RC45 or the RC30, and then jumping on a 125. I just don't get it. I just couldn't
Different
understand. Well, no, just I think world class, I think would be kind of the word you'd have to say. If you want to get in touch with us this morning, how do you do that, young Elizabeth?
You can text 166 177, start your message with TT. You can email studio@radiott.com or follow us on the Manx Radio TT Facebook and Twitter pages. We are Facebook living as well. Everyone's going to wave.
Good Morgan.
Love the fact their voices are all several octaves lower this morning than they normally are.
And mine as well.
Yes. You can listen back to the chat show and watch it as well at the Manx Radio portal and manxradio.com. We've got lots of questions for the riders. We'll be back just after this.